And of course, the Batman side, we don't need to see Gordon. We got Barbara. We got Dick Grayson. You balance the supporting characters out. A good writer would have done that. Balance the supporting characters out. Because again, I just don't like the implication of Ben Affleck's Batman being an angry man-child for 20 years. It's just weird. Um, I'm not a fan of I'm Batman by myself with no Robin. It's just ridiculous. I'm not a fan of it. I like Batman when he works alone, but in terms of film, there's only how many times you can keep doing that, and then it becomes glaringly obvious that you guys don't want to include Robin in your films. That's what I mean. It starts becoming obvious. Yep, they don't want to include the Robins in these movies for some reason. Even though you can just make these characters in their 20s. We're not saying they need to be little kids. Though, of course, people are going to tell me, well, Hit Girl is different. I hate these arguments, man. It's really dumb. It's really, really dumb. I remember hearing that argument with like John Campea about Robin. It was so stupid. It was his opinion, but it was just really dumb. Um, about, how Robin, oh, it doesn't work with Robin. And I'm like, dude, you have Hit Girl. You have those characters. It's not an issue. It's a heightened reality. It's not an issue. Okay. So, in essence, that sort of concludes my whole point about Zack Snyder and my issues with his narrative choices. Because personally, I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I personally don't think I mean, visually, he's maybe a good director, but story, he cannot do story for his life. Um, there are still some even poor story decisions that they still do in the DCEU that I think is still stupid. That, unfortunately, Zack Snyder being a producer of, and that maybe had some influence. Like, for example, in Wonder Woman, the decision to basically, we're just going to kill off all the Greek gods, I think it's just dumb because those characters actually inform a lot of Wonder Woman's mythos. So I find it really dumb. You basically just cut out an entire mythos out of Wonder Woman. For what reason? I don't know. Because I think it's that sort of ego thing again. It's like we can tell better stories than what's already there. It's not us taking those stories that are already there, doing a twist on them. It's we can do better stories than what is already there. I find it absurd, the killing off of the Greek gods. I thought that was really stupid. And I just found it just absurd to me. And then, oh, Ares is the only one that's left alive. Okay. I like the Wonder Woman movie. I just didn't like the premise of the Greek gods just being killed off. It's just stupid. And again, with the Christian imagery, this is a pattern with Zack Snyder stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this guy's evangelical. I don't know. But it's just a weird pattern with his movies. I'm not saying Patty Jenkins. I'm talking about Zack Snyder because he did have some involvement in the writing for Wonder Woman. And I think I could see some of that with the decision to basically we're just going to murder all the Greek gods, even though those characters inform Diana's mythos a lot and are also default supporting characters / sometimes antagonists. They're very interesting. They're very complex characters in Wonder Woman's mythos, and to just get rid of them, it's just like, wow, we just basically cut a freaking the entire heart out of the freaking mythos, and what's left is just the liver. It's like what, you know what I mean? It's just a bit really ridiculous, and you can see with some of the decision making, um, in the film. What else? Um, and then there are some movies that just made it. I don't know. There's some films that did feel like they just wanted us to expect, for some reason, canon material. I mean, this is what I mean, this is what I mean. Zack Snyder was definitely a mistake in helming the DCEU in many ways. In many ways, he was. And hearing the plot for his Justice League with the whole Superman turning evil, this weird plot This dumbass plot of Bruce Wayne getting with Lois Lane, having a kid. Oh my God, it is ridiculously stupid. I mean, if Zack Snyder's planned script, I'm like, what the hell? This is like a horrible idea. So, and then the whole thing, like, so we're gonna have Superman die, and then he's gonna come back to life, and he's gonna be made evil again. Swear to God, this boner for doing evil Superman is just stupid to me. It's just dumb. It's so dumb, and the premise is it's just old and played out to me. It's a played out, dumbass premise. And I think it's because of the fucking injustice shit. I think the trend of doing the whole we have to keep doing evil Superman, that whole crap started because of injustice. I really think injustice started the trend. I'm looking back at it now. There were some obscure, but that's the point. They were obscure stories about Superman turning evil or going rogue. Very obscure. He had Ultraman and whatnot. But this, the old evil Superman trend, I'm telling you, this is injustice written all over it. It all comes from injustice. Some of it I think comes from post 9/11 bullshit in our media. I think some of that is that because it's the post 9/11 paranoia of the escalating threat that you see in the media. That the United States we must protect against. It's the Dick Cheney logic. 1% chance. We even had it in fucking Batman v Superman when Bruce Wayne said, "If there's even a 1% chance," and I'm like, "Oh, he's doing the Dick Cheney thing." Here we go. It's I saw that. I was like, here we go. So again, I know Snyder fans, he has like a whole cult behind him for some reason. The whole like restore the Snyderverse, and I'm like, listen, man, I don't really care. Retcon that fucker. Let's move on from there. Give Cavill to a good director, and let him be Superman through that director. Um, Let us actually start seeing Superman supporting casts. You know what I mean? Um, give us Kara, not the alternate version of Supergirl that you're giving us in Flashpoint. I don't care about that because that's not Kara. You're not going to talk to me and tell me that's Kara because it's not. Okay? Unless they call her Kara, which is like, what the fuck? So, not that I would care. I mean, I don't care if Kara is like, she doesn't need to be blonde. I mean, she have black hair, doesn't really matter. But don't tell me that is the Supergirl that we all know. Part of the Superman family. I don't, because I don't think it is. Unless they pull some bullshit in the Flash movie, and I swear to God, if they tell me that's Kara, I'm gonna freaking, like, I'm not gonna hate the actress or anything. I'm just gonna be like, just annoyed because it's gonna be like, why didn't she show up in a Superman movie? Why this film? So, and then what's even worse, WB wanted to do a Supergirl movie, and it was like, a lot of people, that was their reaction, and I'm like, I get it. I get that reaction. It's just kind of like, what? Like, why do you want to do a Supergirl film? Like, that's just weird. And people will ask the question, it's not like she can't have her own solo movie. Of course she can have her own solo movie. But wouldn't you expect her to show up and interact with her cousin, Clark? Instead of it just being like, oh, I'm my own person, and, I don't give a shit about Clark, even though he's my cousin. I mean, it's just weird decisions like that. And I know some people are saying, oh, we're going to get a Supergirl movie. But if it's multiverse Supergirl movie, I don't care. Because I'm just going to look at it and be like, wow, it's not even Kara, so why do I give a shit? Nor is it Power Girl. I would have bought that. Because those are two really good characters. But if it's just some random new multiverse Supergirl that you're just trying to shove down my throat, I don't. Nah. That just looks like more of WB being idiots and really kind of not knowing what to do with the Superman IP or the Superman mythos, because Kara is a part of it. She's a part of the Superman mythos. So it's just really weird to me. Anyhow, that goes to my point with these films, because it's very clear um, Snyder doesn't read any of the source material. He admitted that he only read The Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen because they were more violent books. That's what he said. So when you got a guy who says that, I mean, what do you guys expect coming out of these movies? Of course, toxic masculinity is going to permeate from these fucking films. So, what is Zack Snyder really? In my opinion, this is my sort of final conclusion to this point. What is Zack Snyder really? Zack Snyder is basically, in terms of superhero movie director, he's Mark Millar. Yes, I said it. He is Mark Millar. That's literally what he is. He's the Mark Millar of superhero movies. He likes doing edgelord stuff with no meaning and just empty value. Just like Mark Millar. Yep. That's the best estimation that I have for for Zack Snyder. He's literally the Mark Millar of superhero movies, to the point in which I'm starting to think maybe you should have gotten Zack Snyder to do movies like, I don't know, Kick-Ass and Wanted. Maybe they would have worked out with him doing the movies, because him and Mark Millar kind of fit the same approach to those characters. They're edgy just to be edgy. I think that's the best comparison to Zack Snyder. He's the Mark Millar of superhero movie directing, and he's just not that good. But anyhow, I'll leave that point. Listen to my rambling, and listen to my rambling, and I'll get to my point on the Nolan Batman movies and some of the stuff that I didn't really care for, and the issues I had with them from sort of writing and adaptational point of view of the characters in Batman's mythos. I'm gonna make an overall point in that video about why diversity I think is important, not in acting, but in the writer's room. I think people focus too much on the actor or the acting part. We need to focus on the writing room. What is being written inside these scripts. That is more important, in my opinion, than the actors. The actors are important too. They go hand in hand. They both come in hand in hand. But I think we need to have more of a conversation about the writers in the room. Because they can always cast actors and black writers and all that, black directors in different directions. But I think what is key is the writers is to have diverse writers in the room. Because I'm telling you, when it comes to these superhero movies, sometimes it just feels like it is a bunch of white guys writing these stories. Especially at the DC department. Besides James Wan and maybe Patty Jenkins, yeah. But anyhow, I'll leave it there, folks. Have a good one.